तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि यो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मामृतं गमय। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति।
Welcome, Namaskar, Namaste, Jai Shri Krishna to all your devotees. Jai Shri Krishna. I bring at the very outset my humble respects to our presiding deity, Shree Veeraboga Emperumal, our revered Swamis from the Sannyasa Council of South Africa, and other leaders, prominent leaders from the community, mothers, brothers and sisters. Okay. Welcome to this, what can I say, spiritual feast. I would like to welcome all of you again officially, okay, from behalf of the Tongaat Hindu Unity Forum, on behalf of the Shree Veeraboga Emperumal Temple, and on behalf of the Sannyasa Spiritual Council of South Africa. In Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna speaks to Arjuna, and when it comes to leadership and the type of people that we should aspire to, or seek guidance, or seek to be as icons, as emulators of models and values in society, we have to look for those that espouse them in the highest regard. In this respect, Sri Krishna says to Arjuna, Yat yat acharati shreshtas tatat evatava janaha sayat pramanam kurukte lokastat anavartate. Whatever action is performed by a great man, common men follow in his footsteps. Whatever standards he sets by exemplary acts, all the world pursues. This is the nature and caliber of leadership that we require, not only in South Africa, but throughout the world. And we can see slowly that this is a renaissance and a rising that is taking place. People always require a leader who can teach community, that is a public, teach by example, by his practical behavior. Whatever teaching is taught has to be pragmatic and has to be applied in his own life. A leader cannot teach the public to stop smoking if he himself smokes. A teacher should behave properly even before he becomes teaching. Okay. One who teaches in this way is called an acharya, it's called a guru, it's called a Swami, one who is respected and therefore is an ideal teacher. A teacher must follow the principles of scripture to reach out to common people and common man. Teacher cannot manufacture his own rules, etc., and scripture gives a guidance on it. But while scripture gives guidance, the application in the life of an individual brings out lessons that all of us can follow. So, looking at the Tongaat Hindu Unity Forum and the trials and tribulations we've been through in the recent past, it has come to our attention and focus and highlight that people in general lack certain basic knowledge and education. For one, in a time of crisis, when it came to people who needed first aid, who needed medical attention, people were at a loss. They didn't know how to respond to this. When it came to seeking or assisting people who were affected by the floods, etc., people were at a loss. People didn't even know how to take their own biodata in terms of their pressure, the pulse rate, etc. And this led to a tremendous amount of loss and grieving in our communities. So we have taken up as a forum to host and initiate a number of medical camps, screening camps, education of our youngsters, our youth, as they have lost a tremendous amount of time at school during the COVID times. So there are many programs that we have going there. So we have the forum, we think that this is an opportunity to inspire us to actually aspire to greater heights and to actually give some guidance in terms of how we can live our lives in society and give guidance to society. That guidance that is very much needed. So leaders that are here present, I pray that we take tremendous amount of value from today's session. The Sannyasa Spiritual Council of South Africa is a spiritual, non-partisan and apolitical association of sannyasis. This is a leadership of monastic leaders. This is the highest order in the Hindu Dharma. In South Africa, this is the organization in South Africa. It is represented from various Hindu organizations and sampradayas like the Arya Samaj, the Ramakrishna Movement, the Divine Life Society, the Chinmaya Mission of South Africa, and was formalized and founded on the 1st of September in 2021. With the objective of coming together, irrespective of the individual organizations, and working together in the name of Dharma to establish truth, peace, enlightenment, and unity in society in accordance with Sanatana Dharma, as well as a universal value system of not only followers of Hindu faith, but of all humanity, to promote devotion that is free of insignificance, misconceptions, and blind faith, to propagate Sanatana Dharma and encourage our social responsibility, which aligns with the ideals and values of Dharma, and in so doing, heal the divisions of the past and established a Hindu community united in its diversity. The current convener of the Sannyasa Council is Pujya Swami Vedanand Saraswati Maharaj, and the council seniorly represent with us Pujya Swami Vedananda Ji Maharaj of the Sarvadharma Ashram in Vedanand, Pujya Swami Maitreya Ji. We have Pujya Swami Chandikananda Maharaj Ji. Okay. We have Pujya Swami Guru Bhaktananda Ji Maharaj. And we have Swami Loka Sanghananda Ji Maharaj from our local Tongaat Vedanta Ashram in Sweet House. Thank you.
Sambho manam se janatam deva bhagam yatha purve sanjanana upasate samano mantra samiti samani samanam manah sah chittamesham samanam mantram avimantrayeva samanena bhu avishajuhomi. My dearest embodiments of peace and love, Om. I greet you with all the love and divinity of my heart and on behalf of the Sannyasa Spiritual Council of South Africa. The mantra I just recited is the concluding message of the Rig Veda, the oldest scripture of Dharma. And you know what it says? It says, come together, speak together, and act together with one common voice, just as our ancient sages relegated in unity. My friends, we have such rich history, such a rich value system. Our forefathers, when I walked in here, it's the first time that I've been blessed to come to this sacred ashram, the sacred mandir, and I was blessed with the sight of the historical monument of our forefathers. They came with nothing, only with an expectation and a hope for a brighter tomorrow. Little did they know, coming on that ship, the tyranny that would await them, the hardship that would await them. A promise of hope, but that hope very quickly turned to turmoil, toiling and despair. But yet, because of that very culture, that Dharmic culture, our forefathers persevered. They toiled the soil, not for themselves, not for their selfish needs, but to build the better tomorrow that they were promised but never received. They toiled and built the community that we have today for the betterment of their children, for the betterment of their brothers and sisters. They built their education system. And today, we are blessed recipients of that. But in being recipients of that, we all know that today we face much trouble, much turmoil. Our families don't hold that same value system as they did 160 years ago, much less 30 years ago. Now, we are here today not just to discourse with you, not just to give you a lecture, my sisters and brothers. We are here to talk with you. We are here to find a solution with you, because Dharma is not something you just come and listen to in the mandir or for satsang. It has to be practical. It has to be something you take home and change your life, because Dharma, Sanatana Dharma, is a living, eternal value system. What is the use of it being an eternal, living value system if we can't apply those values at home, build our families, bring our children back, educate them with those values, knowing the state of the world outside of us? Today, our aim is to help guide you do that, and to work together, not separately, but together. Because when you leave from here, we want you to leave armed with some basic tool that you can take back home and work towards building back those family values. How are we going to change the world? Not by screaming at the world to change. How are we going to change society? Not by screaming for society to change, because who makes society? Each and every one of us. And the change begins with us. The change begins at home. Back in the day, how many of you remember? It was instilled in us to go to satsang, to pray every day, to go to Tamil school, Hindi school, Gujarati school. If we didn't go, we'd be more scared not to go than anything, because our elders who would teach us a lesson if we don't. Put your hands up, those of you who come from that generation. where dharma was a part of your daily life. But today, somewhere we've lost that discipline, not control, discipline. And by losing that discipline at home, by thinking that being liberal means freedom, look at the state of our homes today. And in forward spec, look at the state of our schools, look at the state of our society, and look at the state of our world. Where does it begin? At home. We have lost that discipline at home. We have lost becoming the parents or the grandparents. We have been parented and grandparented. And somewhere, the Western world and our rich Hindu culture has crossed somewhere. But it is never too late. There is a shining ray of hope. The fact that we are all still breathing means we all still have an opportunity to change. To change and make broken homes united homes. To make ill discipline, discipline once again. And to do that, my friends, we need to go back to Dharma. We need to understand, how do we bring Dharma back home? How do we teach the values today, in today's language, with today's understanding, using today's technology for our children and our grandchildren, and also ourselves, because we've lost our way. I might be speaking as a youngster, please forgive me. But even amongst our elders, I hear from our elders themselves have got caught up in that web of holding grudges, being angry, having resentment, and all these things that should not appear. Yes, we faced it in the past, not to say it's something alien to us. But back then, our forefathers would gather around the table, they'll thrash it out, have something to eat, and go back united. Today, when they go away for good. Nobody comes back. These sacred mantras that we've recited are not just mantras. They're not just to say, Paramatma, give me hope, give me love, bless me with this, bless me with that. Bhagavan sometimes must be looking at him, shaking his head and saying, what are we doing? We have the power within us. We are an embodiment of that divinity. That Bhagavan exists within us as much as that Bhagavan is outside us. We are here in the shrine of divinity. But whilst we're here in the shrine, what is this symbolism teaching us? The mother is teaching us, look within your heart and see me within. See that compassion of the mother within. See that love of the mother within. So that we don't just come remove our shoes and put our hands together in this mandir. But when we go home, that home is our mandir. Our heart becomes a mandir. When we greet somebody, whether we say Vanakkam, Namaste, Om, what are we doing? We're not saying hello. We're not saying how's it. The divinity within me recognizes and greets with all the respect the divinity that exists within you. We'll say that, Namaste, and in our minds we're thinking other things. So let us take a step back. Let us take a step back and ask ourselves, how do we change? What do I need to change in my heart? And when I change and become that exhibition of love, that exhibition of Dharma, in whatever small way, doesn't mean you all have to become sannyasis or gurujis or pandits. In whatever capacity you are, Dharma belongs to you. Dharma is your right. You are a dharmic being. You have a duty to serve. But it does not rob you of the fact that you have to do that duty of yours in accordance with Dharma, in accordance with righteousness and honesty and respect. We say Vasudeva Kutumbakam. Whole world is one family. Yet we still have that token of racism and xenophobia and discrimination. We may be Indian. We may be African. We may be American. We may be different colors, black, Indian, white, pink, yellow. But our hearts beat as one. You remove the skin, the color of our blood is the same. Our consciousness and spirit is of that same one Om, Bhagwan. There is no discrimination. Diversity is there, it makes us beautiful. Can you imagine if everybody looked the same and everything was the same color? Life would be very boring. But let's not make diversity division. Let's celebrate diversity in knowing our oneness. Because if we can celebrate that oneness at home, we can cultivate seeing everybody with that same divinity. When we light the lamp at home in the morning, which must be a common practice which Swamiji will speak to you about, how we bring spirituality back home. Let us light the lamp in our hearts first. Before we pray to Bhagwan to give us richest blessings, let us become an embodiment of those blessings. Let us serve, whether we are an accountant, a doctor, an electrician, whatever work we're doing, do it with pride, do it with love, and do it as a matter of service. Even though you're getting paid for it, is not the matter. You're doing it because you're serving somebody. You're going home as an electrician to fix a wire or fix the electricity. Do it as a service to that person. Because within that person is the Bhagwan you're serving. And if everything becomes a matter of service and love, your whole spectrum changes. Now we can only tell you this, it can only be words. You can make it a reality, my friends. You can make it your dharma, your livelihood, and a legacy of your family. Because unless we change our homes, there's no chance for society to change. Don't expect government to do it. Don't expect the schools to do it. The schools can only do so much. But if the children come with that value system, then those schools will flourish. I may be young, but I still remember we never had such things in our schools where the kids are hitting the teachers. Today in social media we are rife with videos where children are bashing the teachers, burning books, toy-toying left, right and center. It's not about a matter of discrimination. All our children are involved. Where are we going wrong? Let us today sit and start off that process of transformation. So my hope and my prayer to you is by the time we end, take one thing, take it home, and let's together start changing our families. Now, we're in Tongaat today. Next month we'll be in Chatsworth. Doesn't mean we're here, we're speaking this message. Come and learn that next lesson. And let us walk together on this journey. Change yourselves to help change your families, to change your communities, to change the nation. One by one, change this world. My dear friends, I'm going to call it there because we've got a beautiful program ahead. I'm going to give you a few minutes if you have any questions to any of our Swamijis that you have around what I spoke about. As I said, we're going to have a session later on. I want you to think about it, write it down. Later on, we're going to break up into little groups. And each Swamiji will be in charge of a group, and we're going to talk about the common challenges we face and the solutions. Most importantly, the solutions and tools we can take home to change. So if you have any questions, we are there. Give you about 5 or so minutes or 10 minutes. If you have no questions, sure, if you want to think about it, that's fine. We can move to the next session by Swamiji. But if you have any questions, we open it to you. Om Shanti Shanti.
loving monastics, leaders of religious organizations, sisters, brothers. At the outset, I must say that I'm very disappointed that there are hardly any youth in the audience today. And those that are here have been brought by us. And this is symptomatic of what is happening among Hindus in South Africa. There is a belief that Hinduism is dying. But the fact of the matter is that Hinduism can never die. Because Hinduism, the right name for Hinduism is Sanatana Dharma, the eternal religion that was, that is, and that will be. So wherein lies the problem? And the problem lies with us, with each one of us. We, for our devotion, our belief, and our dedication to our religion is dying. That is what the problem is. So where do we start to resurrect our religion as such? We all know that charity begins at home. There are other two itis that also begin at home, and they are morality and spirituality. They all begin at home. It is said that 76% of a person's character is made by what he gains from his home or her home. So it's only 24% that we get from outside our homes. So what are we doing in order that we could provide this 76% of our children's character? In the beginning, when Indians came to South Africa, Hindus were about 90% of all those that came. But presently, we stand around 40%. And if we go on the way we are doing, then we will soon, in the next 5 or 10 years, be much less. However, there is a growing interest in Hinduism throughout the world. And when we read or when we see items on television and so forth, we see that there is this growth taking place. But what are we doing is the question. It is very good to say that I'm a Hindu. When I was in the Defense Force, young men came to me and said, "Chaplain, you must fight for us to wear the red string." So I said, "What is the red string in the first place?" And they said that the red string is a lucky string. And some said that it is a safeguard. And many of us sitting here also believe that. But the reason for wearing the lucky string is the red string or the Lakshmi Bandhan is much more than that. It is there to remind us that it is by God's grace that we are able to give and receive. That is why it is on the right hand, and I don't have it because God is with me. So, as I said, charity, morality, and spirituality begin at home. We all have prayer places in our houses. It's either a room, a special room that has been dedicated for the worship, or it is in some part of the building. Having it there is not enough. Our relationship with God that is supposed to be there is more important. I'm seeing people walking around, taking photographs or murtis from what we call the prayer place in any haphazard fashion and placing them anywhere with the least amount of respect. So we as adults are doing that. What are our children going to learn? So the prayer place is an important part of our house. In fact, it should be the most important part of our house. But invariably the lounge is the most important part of our house. And if the prayer place is the most important part of the house, it should be kept in such a condition that one is inspired when one arrives. The utensils should be shiny. The prayer, the pictures, we have them, should be clean. And we ourselves should be clean when we get there. And it is, although it should be the duty of the heads of the house to light the lamp when it comes to lighting the lamp. But we do not find that. We find parents watching TV or reading the newspaper or having an argument and scolding the child to go light the lamp. But the lamp is supposed to give us inspiration. By us means everyone in the family. And therefore every one of the family should be present at the time of prayer, whether it is in the morning or in the evening. And one should be able to visualize the presence of God there. You know, it was a practice once that when you lit the lamp, just before you could light the lamp, you would open the door, the front door. And people say they open it because God will enter. But we know God can enter from anywhere. God is omnipotent. Then coming through anywhere, even through the solid wall. So why do we open the door? So that we could feel that God is entering into our house at that time. And when we light the lamp, we see God taking his or her seat in the lamp. Or do we do that? No, it has become a mechanical thing. And nowadays with artificial intelligence, it will soon be possible to press a button and have the light being lit by some metallic creature. We're not far from that. And the family, all members who are in the family at that time should be present at the prayer place. How often we hear that family that prays together stays together. But more often than not, we see the families breaking apart, falling away, because this respect, this attitude towards God is not there. So that is one of the things we have to do. Get our act right when it comes to prayer. The second thing is that there should be regular scripture reading. Whatever the scripture is, whether it is Tiruvurul, or the Ramayana, or the Mahabharata, or any other scripture, the Bhagavad Gita, all of these give us very valuable lessons in morality and spirituality. But what do we find? We find that at the prayer place or in the prayer room, there will be the scriptures. Some of them will be collecting dust. Some of them have been wrapped in red cloth. For whatever reason, I don't know. Because a scripture is supposed to be read. So scripture reading should be there. And I say this from experience. I'm standing here today because of the scripture reading my parents did when I was little. And the stories they told us on a Sunday. We lived on the farm in those days. And on a Sunday we would gather around the black defied stove. And my mother used to tell us stories from the scripture. So that is important. Yes, as I said, the youth are not here, the young people are not here, the older ones are here, but you can take this message to your children, your married children, so that they can introduce this into their lives. Another point that we have fallen prey to is this business that we are universal. And because we are universal, it is fine for our children to marry people of other religions. That is not so. We are universal in that we accept that all religions lead to God. But it doesn't mean that we have to marry into other religions and convert into those religions as well. One of the reasons why our numbers have decreased from the 90% to what it is now is because of conversion. And parents will say, what can we do? Love is blind. My guru used to say, yes, love is blind, but marriage opens the eyes. Huh? And you know that. Some of your children perhaps are married across the religious line, and you know what trouble they have, what problems they have. I know it for a fact. I can't counsel these people by numbers. So, we have to be proud that we are Hindus. Not by outside marks. You see, none of us here have these trikundara or beautiful little marks on our heads and so forth and so forth, because that doesn't make us what we are. What we are is because of what we are within, not what we are without. So this consciousness, this awareness of what Hinduism is all about is important. And it is only the parents who can instill this pride, this love for the religion. You can see, even among you here, most of you are leaders or members, committee members of religious organizations. And often we hear, we don't know what is going to happen when we pass away, who's going to take over the reins. And that is for two reasons. One is that we are not prepared to prepare others to take over. And another is that because of this lack of interest in their own religion, the youngsters are not interested. But comes the day when they have a problem in their life, then they will run to take cover. Suddenly God is alive. And this is the wrong attitude. Because of this attitude, people claim that they are praying to living gods and we are praying to dead gods, or no God at all. And we are accepting this. When are we going to awaken to the fact that we belong to the most ancient of religions that exist this day? And despite the fact that India was bombarded by the Islamists from the north and from the British Christians from the east, Hinduism has survived in India. So if it can survive in India and even grow, why can't it happen here in South Africa? So it is important, apart from education in the family, for education to take place in the religious organizations as well. At one time, the temple was a place where you only went in and sat and imbibed the spiritual vibration that came by the Gopuram into the Garbhodan. But time has changed, and religious organizations have to address more needs than one that are there in our communities. So our religious organizations will also become places of education, institutions of education. I'm talking about spiritual education. And spiritual education doesn't just involve telling them mythological stories. It is also explaining the philosophy and the symbology in those stories and in those characters. Religious organizations should also become a place from where support is given to members of the community in the form of soup kitchens, in the form of distribution of clothes, and so forth, throughout the year, not only on Diwali. How we do. I know that some of the organizations are doing that, and indeed, I'm pleased that that is happening. But all of us doing it. And when we do that, we should do it selflessly, expecting nothing in return. So if we engage in these activities, sisters and brothers, then we are going somewhere. Then we can proudly say that we are Hindus. Then only can we revive our religion. Otherwise, we are, as I said in the beginning, going to lose our big way. And another thing we have to bear in mind is this business of suspicion and jealousy that exists in our organizations. 150 or 60 years ago, when Swami Vedanand made his first speech in the south of India after returning from Chicago, he said that the biggest problem with Hindus is the business in Hindu organization is that of jealousy and suspicion. So let us drop that. Let us work together as a unit in order that we could pay respect to our religion, which is supposed to be our mother. So these are the thoughts that I want to share with you this evening, this afternoon, whatever it is time now. And it is hoped that you take it to heart. And if it is necessary, we are prepared to help. The Sannyasa Council, members of the Council, are prepared to help. So, should our help, assistance be required, we wouldn't be there. We are here not, in South Africa, that is, we are here not just as a group of sannyasins, but we are here to see to it that Hinduism stands head and shoulders above the other religions. So with these words, I thank you for your patient listening, and I pray that you will be able to use some of these thoughts of mine in your daily life. Jai Shree Veeraboga.
So, my name is Duncan. Thank you for that very kind introduction. As you can see, I'm kind of not Indian, but I sometimes feel I'm more Indian than the Indians, because I absolutely adore the Indian philosophies. And I kind of, as you alluded to, a genetic thing, that maybe in my past lives I lived in India. I'm absolutely certain of that. And then I came in this life in white skin. So, but I absolutely adore the Indian philosophies. The Dharma as we're talking about today is just so beautiful, and no other faith has this. I can tell you, you are so lucky, and so I teach. You know, the problem with yoga today is that yoga has morphed into something completely different from what it was intended 2,400 years, particularly. I mean, it's 5,000 years old, in fact, but the beautiful sage Patanjali wrote the Yoga Sutras, and about 2,400 years ago. Beautiful text. But the yoga today has deviated completely away from what yoga was intended, and now we have all sorts of strange things happening. I call it Californian yoga because it seems to come from California all the time, like hot yoga and rock yoga and various other things. So we're trying to bring, this is Divesh here, both of us are trying to bring, Divesh is connected to the Arya Samaj, and we're trying to bring traditional yoga back. This beautiful practice of yoga, what it was intended to be. And the intention is, as you alluded to, is that it's a pathway to self-realization. And that's what we all want. We want to discover our true self, or the Atman, and this beautiful pathway of yoga that Patanjali laid out is the pathway. It's an eightfold path, Ashtanga yoga. And it goes from how we live our life, the dharma of our life, right through to doing asana, which is one small part of it, to pranayama, which is the extension of the breath, or the control of the breath, and then eventually to becoming one-pointed in our focus, and eventually meditation, and then finally samadhi, or bliss. But this is the path, and this is the path we're trying to teach, and we're trying to help people. This is starting to mushroom now because people want this. They really, really want this practice of yoga in their life. So I thought I'm not going to talk too long. Stop here because I would like to do a little bit of demonstration for you. Those of you who haven't done much yoga before, maybe you can just feel it. So I'm going to do some chair yoga with you today. We'll do a little bit of standing as well, just to get ourselves up off our feet. But we're going to do some of the work in the chair. Now, yoga is about the body, of course, the asana, but it's also about the breath. And the breath, the movement of the breath, is one means of taking prana into the body, this energy. We have this beautiful energy in the body. Just place your hands just near your face, without touching. And you can feel that beautiful energy coming from your hands. So our bodies are made of energy. I call it the energy of our soul. So our soul's energy in the body, and we're taking, it's the energy of the universe that we're taking in. So we take this beautiful energy through the breath. We also take it in through food. That's why eating is also so important, what we put into our mouth. And we also take the energy from the earth itself. So that's why being barefoot is very, very important as well. So when I ride back at home, I kick up back at temple, I kick off my shoes, and for the whole day at home I run around barefoot, just to feel that beautiful prana coming through the earth. As you can feel in a temple here, that's why we are barefooted here. We can feel this beautiful energy coming out of the earth. I feel it from this beautiful temple. I can feel it when I walked in. Amazing, amazing feeling. And I'm sure you felt that when you visited other temples as well. So we're going to allow, in this practice I'm going to do with you today, allow this prana to start to move in the body and start to feel it. So we can feel this energy. So in the yoga practice we breathe through our nose, because the sages of old realized that the prana is taken through the olfactory canal in the nose. So it's very important to breathe through the nose, not through the mouth. And also breathing through the nose has a lot of health benefits as well. Not only stopping germs from coming into the body. It's a natural protector, but most people nowadays breathe through the mouth. So we need to come back to these old, ancient traditions. So we'll come down. We're going to do a little bit of a series, which is a very famous series that was taught by Swami Satyananda. Swami Satyananda was a disciple of Swami Shivananda of Rishikesh, of the Divine Life in Rishikesh. So this is a very beautiful, beautiful practice to work in the joints and for you to feel the prana moving in your body. The prana moves around all those parts of the body. So these exercises are very good for stopping rheumatism, also just gently stretching the muscles, and you can do them in the chair, which is also quite nice. So all people can do them, from children to advanced yoga people to the elderly as well. So we're just going to start with our right foot, and we're going to start to just rotate the right foot slowly. So as you're rotating, as you bring the toes up, you're going to breathe in. As you take down, you're going to breathe out. And you're going to try now to breathe through the nose. So you're working into the ankle here. The heel can be on the floor, or you can raise the leg if you want to. And then you're just going to reverse. Just breathing slowly. Down, breathing out as you go, down, and then you can swap the leg and do the other foot. Breathing in as you come up, out as you go down. Maybe close the eyes and see if you can see what's happening in your ankle using the breath. So the breath is also going to calm the mind. As we do this focus on the breath, the mind is also going to become calm. One of the biggest problems today in the world is mental illness through the activity of the mind. So we're trying to slow the mind down, trying to slow these thoughts down. Eventually to just have one pointed. So when you just reverse and go the other way. And now you're going to point your toes, you can lift them up, you're going to point your toes as you breathe out. As you breathe in, you're going to pull the toes back as much as you can. Point the toes as you breathe out. Pull back as you breathe in. Point the toes. Pull back. Point the toes. Pull back. Point the toes. Breathe out. And last one, breathe in and pull the toes back. Just now bring the feet onto the ground. Close your eyes. See if you can pick up that energy, that prana in your ankles. You might feel it as warmth, cold, a vibration, a sound, a tinkling. Just see if you can pick that up. What we're doing in yoga, and particularly in Hatha yoga, is to try and work on this energy that is within our body, using it to heal and restore us. Sometimes you might have heard the term pranic healing. You can become your own pranic healing. You heal yourself with your own energy. It's the most beautiful thing that the ancient sages found. Now we're going to move into the knee. So you're going to grab your knee, just pull it gently towards you. As you breathe out, as you breathe in, you get to bring it down. Breathe in, bring the knee up. Out, down. Breathe in, knee up. Breathe out, down. Breathe in, knee up. Breathe out, down. Last one. Breathe in, knee up. Breathe out, down. You're going to feel a lot more open after the session. So left leg now. Breathe in, out, sorry, breathe out, leg down. Breathe out, sorry, coming up. In, down. Breathe out as you bring the knee to the chest. Breathe in, down. Breathe out as you bring the knee to the chest. In, down. And last one, breathe out. Knee to chest. Down. So just close the eyes. See if you can feel now the energy moving in the knees and the ankles. Maybe you can feel it a little bit more now as you activate the knee and the muscles. So what's also happening here is the blood is flowing into the joints. So we have synovial fluid in the joints to keep the joints active, and this is why we need to keep the body moving. Our lives now in this Western lifestyle that we've adopted have become really, really sedentary. We sit in chairs, whereas we should be sitting on the floor with the hips open. Many of the problems in the knees are caused by our hips not being open. So I suggest to all people who come to our yoga that they start sitting on the floor again. Same thing with going to the toilets. We were designed to squat when we go to the toilet. And that's why, in India, if you travel in India, sometimes you have squat toilets. But nowadays, very fast, even in India, they're disappearing. And it causes a great problem with your colon, because the colon is then kinked when you're sitting in a chair like this. Much, much better. But many people nowadays can't squat anymore, because the hips aren't open. So we need to start to learn to open the hips. So we do a lot of work in yoga to help to open it, so we can sit also in a comfortable meditation position. The whole idea with asana was to sit in a comfortable meditation position. Sukha Sthiriyam Asana. Steady and comfortable, that's what Tanjali said. So very, very important for us. Okay, so we're going to do a little twist now, alright? So you're going to just twist in your chair. You're going to take your right hand behind you on the chair, place the left hand also on the chair, and just twist around to the right side. As you breathe out, as you breathe in, you come to the center and you twist to the other side. So you're working here into the vertebra at the back. You're working into, and then just keep moving with your own breath. Breathing out, go to the side 5 times. We're working here with spine. We're working here with the discs. We're working here with the nervous system in the back. Very, very important. We're working as well into the abdominal organs. Really working into the abdominal organs. And yoga has a profound effect on even type 2 diabetes. There's been so much work done to show how yoga can actually cure type 2 diabetes. But you have to practice regularly, daily, in order for that to happen. And obviously consult with your doctor as you come with the medication. But yoga has an amazing effect on that. And another one I should tell you, particularly for the women, is bone density. The recent research has shown that yoga, 15 minutes of yoga a day, they did a research within 3 months. They did 3 months, and bone density in the control group increased to between 10 and 15% just in those 3 months. So very, very powerful. We need to get the body moving. We need to get the blood flowing into the joints, into the bone, to keep ourselves healthy. Because we have, I'm sure many of you know that we probably become sick. Okay, so the next exercise we're going to do is for the hands. So this is all these exercises you can practice when you're in the office or at home in the chair while you're watching TV. So this is very good for the joints in the hands. So you're going to make fists with the hands around your thumb. Squeeze as you breathe out. As you breathe in, you're going to spread the fingers forward. And then you're going to squeeze. Breathe in, spread the fingers. And we're just going to do this 5 times. Stretch out. And last one. And then we're going to move, bring the hands down. It's quite hard to hold our hands up so long. The next move we're going to do is into the wrists. So we're going to make this with the hands and we do rotations with the wrists like this. 5 times one way, breathing in as you go up, out as you come down. Remember, breathing through the nose, just bring the focus back to the nose, and then back. 5 times the other way. And then you're going to drop your hands down as you breathe up. As you breathe in, you're going to pull the fingers back. Working into the wrists again. Down. Yeah, floppy hands. Good. And bring the hands down. Now just place your hands on your knees, palms facing up, and just see if you can feel the energy moving in your fingers and your wrist. Feel it warm tingling, vibration. You can feel that prana move. This is what we do. We have to use the breath to help us to move the prana in the body. Very, 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 very beautiful. And now you've been sitting a lot, so we're going to come up to standing. So if you can, otherwise you stay sitting. And now we're going to work into the elbows. So you're going to stretch out your fingers and bring the hands into the shoulders. So as you stretch forward, you breathe in through the nose, and then you breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. Last one, breathe in, breathe out. So we're working into the elbows. So just bring the hands to the side. Just feel if you can feel a little bit of warmth, maybe in the elbows, or vibration, tingling in your elbows. Close your eyes for a moment. And now we're going to do Skanda Chakrasana, which is this is very good for the top area of your spine. Many people have problems here as well. So this ancient practice that we're doing now is used by physiotherapists. I don't know if there are any physiotherapists here, but they use this exercise. So you bring the elbows together in the front. First you can take the elbows up as you breathe in, round the back, and you start to breathe out as you come down. You're going to do this 3 times. Breathing in as you go up. Good. Breathing out as you come down. Breathe in. You're really good. We need to start classes here, I think. Fantastic. And now we go the other way. So you're going to go back. Breathing in as you come up again. Breathe out as you come down. Breathe in. Then release. Feel the energy now moving in the shoulders, elbows, and fingers. Finally, we're going to end with a practice called Viva Sanchalana. Viva Sanchalana is doing the head movements. We're going to do 3 of them. The first one is we're going to tuck the chin as we breathe out. As we breathe in, we're going to lift the head up and gently drop it back. Just do this 3 times. Moving, stretching at the front and the back of the neck, working as well into the thyroid and the parathyroid glands that are in the neck. So, practice of yoga is all about getting the endocrine system in the body working properly. Very, very powerful for this. Next one is we're going to drop the right, and we're going to tilt the right head to the right shoulder as we breathe out, and then we're going to slowly take the head over to the other, feeling that nice stretch down the side of the neck. So you're working into the vertebra in the neck, and as well into the muscles that surround the neck on that side. So just do it gently, and remember, in yoga, you should feel no pain. So we say in our group, no pain, all the gain, not no pain, no gain. That mantra came to me once while we were teaching. It works very well. It's really well. So bring the head to normal. So I'm also training you in the Indian head nod. When you go to India, you know this means yes. And so it's very confusing when we're used to this meaning yes. So when I first went to India, I was so confused. And it was like, oh, yeah. So now you can do it beautifully. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, good. So final exercise, we're going to slowly take our chin over to the right shoulder as we breathe out. As we breathe in, we're going to bring the head forward. As we breathe out, we're going to take the head to the left shoulder. Just 3 times, just getting a nice sideways stretch in the neck. These exercises are fantastic to do. These head and neck exercises are fantastic to do in the morning when you get out of bed. And you've got that neck, you get out of bed and your neck's like this, and you go walking around the house. You try those exercises and you'll see how slowly your neck will come back. Very powerful exercises. So we're just going to now just stand, grab your left wrist with the right hand behind the back, and just feel how you awaken the energy, gentle energy through the body. Maybe you can feel that energy just in kind of vibrations moving upwards into the head. Very, very beautiful. And now the next stage of yoga, this is what Patanjali taught. So we had what we shouldn't do in our life, which we called the yamas, and then we have the niyamas, the kind of the things that we should do in the life, and then we had the asana in Patanjali's description of how we do yoga. And then following the asana which we just done, the posture, we then go into pranayama. So Divesh is going to do a little bit of pranayama. And then we'll end with a seated meditation.
Namaste everyone, welcome to everyone. So please have a seat, it's fine. So as Duncan also explained that yoga is an all-encompassing science, taking you from the physical to the spiritual. And the connection between the physical and the spiritual, that main connection is the breath. And the breath is that vitality of that individual themselves. So with irregular breathing patterns, you'll find the person could be in a state of shock, anxious feeling, not feeling very secure of themselves. When your breath is more stable, it's more calm, more relaxed, you yourself feel much more in a stable piece of setting of your inner self. So it's so important, and most of the people today, in terms of their breathing, normal breathing, it is very shallow. And what happens when your breathing is shallow? You will be onset of more disease in your system itself. So what we try and do through pranayama is to increase the capacity of your breathing, increase the capacity of the oxygen intake of the entire system in itself, so that as your immunity builds, so does your resistance to specific ailments, to specific viruses, and so on and so forth. Not only that, having proper breathing techniques and ways of doing it helps in settling the mind, because the mind itself is connected with the breath. So as I said before, the more erratic and the more unstable the breath is, the more the mind will be fluctuating itself. And the more we are able to stabilize the breath and stabilize the mind, we can then of course stabilize the mind itself by stabilizing the breath. Right? So I'm going to take a very basic pranayama, and just in terms of deep breathing. Right? On a normal basis, the individual may take in half a liter of air. But now with conscious breathing and doing breathing consciously and focusing on it, you can expand that breath up to 2 liters of air. So what we'll do is from a very basic pranayama. There's many, but as today we've got a very limited amount of time. Just simply, I want you to start to breathe from your abdomen upwards. Okay? So putting your hands on your stomach first and foremost, and just breathe. And as you breathe in, feel your stomach expand. Okay? And you're exhaling out. So taking a deep breath in, and feel first. Now feel from your abdomen, right? And really slowly let your abdomen pull back in. Okay? You want to start to concentrate on your breathing. Now again, just one more time. Taking a deep breath in, feeling the abdomen raise up, and gently release. Now put your other hand on top of the chest. Now when I say breathe in, you're breathing from the abdomen all the way up towards your chest, shoulders rise up. Okay? So you're taking a full breath. That's what the yogi breath is. Full breath all the way from the bottom to the top, and slow and steady. So let's try. So taking a deep breath, inhalation. Slow inhale. And exhale slowly. And as you exhale, drop your shoulders, drop your chest pulls back in, stomach pulls back in. So the exhalation must be as slow as possible. Right? So I can do a small count. So I'll do a count of 3 and 3. Okay? Let's follow the count. So if I say inhale, 1, 2, and 3, that you must manage your inhalation up to that point. The exhalation on 3, 2, 1, you manage the exhalation down. Okay? So let's start. Inhale, 1, 2, and 3. Focusing the breath, focusing the flow of the breath itself. And exhalation, 3, 2, 1. And all of that's happening through the nose. Right? So slowing down as much as possible, we follow the count. As you get more proficient, you can expand the count even more. For now, we're starting off very gently and slowly. So inhale on a 1, 2, and 3. Now you exhale slow. 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, 1, 2, and 3. Feel the different parts of your body engaging as you inhale, as your inhalation is taking place. And now exhale, 3, 2, and 1. Slow exhalation and slow inhalation. Deeper the breath, the more prana, the more oxygen is going through the system. Inhalation, 1, 2, and 3. And exhalation, 3, 2, and 1. And one more technique I'll show you for today is alternative nostril breathing. Okay, so again, you're just going to just use your thumb for now, just blocking your right. There's a different technique, but I won't confuse everyone. Just block your right nostril. As I say, inhalation, 1, 2, and 3. Block the other side, block your left nostril, and exhale, 3, 2, 1. Now inhale again from this side, 1, 2, and 3. Switch sides, exhale, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, you got it? So let's do a few rounds. Let's try together, all of us. So let's start with your left hand channel. Inhale, 1, 2, and 3. Exhale now your right hand channel. 3, 2, and 1. So inhale from your right hand channel. 1, 2, and 3. Exhalation on the left. 3, 2, and 1. Inhale from the right again. 1, 2, and 3. Exhale on the left. 3, 2, and 1. Inhale once again. 1, 2, and 3. Exhale. 3, 2, 1. I just want you all to just close your eyes just for a minute. And now concentrate on your breathing. Do it yourself mentally. Just do a count as you're focusing your mind. And just try it for yourself. Do a mental count. And you can alternate your breathing. The more you become conscious of your breath, the more in tune with yourself you become. The breath, as I said, is a connection between you and your very spirit. So, one, this is the multitude of elements, prana, oxygen, and the focus of the mind, and concentration on your own breath itself. So, just keep on 1 minute to focus. When you're ready, come back to center. Gently open your eyes. Of course, within the short space of time, you need to just show you a few techniques. There's many more, as I said. But all depends. You need to continuously practice these sort of things. So then, what happens is the body automatically starts to change. The psyche of the body changes. The breathing patterns of the body change. So it becomes normal for the system to then breathe in deeper. So no more when you're just walking is the breath very shallow. Automatically, as you practice over time, the extension of the breath slowly expands. And that's what you want to try and get in time and through the practice of yoga. Okay? But I can't take too much of time. We're going to continue with the meditation from Duncan. Thank you for a little bit of time.
Thank you. So now with the Suham meditation. Suham is a beautiful, one of the oldest mantras, meaning very simple, I am that. I am one with the universe. I believe, I heard some of the Swami, one of the Swamis were upset if I'm right, but when a baby's born, it cries out, "So come!" When they beat its bum, when it comes out of the womb, and the universe answers back, "So come." I'm that. So she'll come as, who am I? Is that correct? Oh yeah, I've read that somewhere. Anyway, so we're going to do, your mind is probably feeling very calm after the breathing and just a little bit of the yoga. You can probably feel how the mind is feeling now. And then by just using a mantra, and you know japa is a beautiful form of meditation as well. So this is incorporating the breath and a kind of a japa practice. So as we breathe in, just as we've been doing that long, slow breath, you're going to be chanting inwardly. You're going to be going so, and then as you breathe out, and it almost sounds like the breath, like waves of the sea moving in and out. So you're just going to do that. You're not going to do it for long, just 3 minutes, and you just try that. Just close the eyes. You just get to breathe in, and you're inwardly going to chant inwardly, not outwardly, in your mind. As you breathe out, just keep going. Just using the breath. So as you breathe in, as you breathe out. If the mind starts to wander, just come back to the mantra. Long, slow, deep breaths. So as you breathe in, and just release the breath. Just gently open your eyes. See how calm, and feel the calmness coming down. Very, very beautiful. So thank you very much. It's wonderful practicing with you today. And in fact, you can see the Sarvadharma ashram and some of the yoga students on the roof of the ashram at the moment, the new series of sadhana. So we're teaching different aspects of yoga that help with the benefit of health. So if you watch the sadhana program at 7:30 on Sunday morning, you can have a little bit more yoga, even though we're not here. So great. So thank you very much. Thank you.
Om everybody. First, I'm going to ask our brother Vedanand to grace us with some light. The evening is setting in. Oh no, there's no light. Sorry, forgive me. Okay, everybody put their hands up. Wave it. Smile. Embrace the divinity. Breathe in the fresh air.
Receive the light.
Receive the inner light. That's it. Right. Now, we come to an exciting part because each and every one of you are going to become involved. I'm going to divide you into 5 groups. I'm going to give you a number, and I'm going to allocate you one of our divine sannyasis, and we're going to discuss problems at home, family issues that we face. In general, we don't have to specify, and let's look at solutions, how we can bring that divinity and spirituality back home, right? So I'm going to now leave the microphone. We're going to cut the formalities. I'm going to divide you into groups, and I'm going to ask you to assemble. We're going to divide the chairs, and we're going to sit and we're going to have an interactive discussion. Please, my humble appeal to all of you, feel free. This is not, there's no formality. Be relaxed. We are yours, you are ours, we are all one in the same, and we need to help each other if we're going to move our way forward. I want you to put your hand up if any of you do not face any problem at home. Okay, there's your answer. We all have problems, but trust me when I say, somewhere, somehow, we also have the solutions. Let's look for them. So I'm going to step out. I hope you can hear me. I'm going to give you each a number. Remember your number, and then we're going to divide into those groups. And for the next 20 minutes, we're going to sit and have this discussion. And at the end, we're going to then feedback on what our general problems we face and the solutions we have.
Yeah, so let's write down some of the prompts.
You know, it is a place of love, it's a place of compassion, it's a place of everything. Is you got to see and you got to feel the child being processed. So now we are feeling and seeing the child that is not in our family, but they are out of our family. So, but the most important ingredient is love. Now to bring person into our families.
Children are receiving that information. Learning in school is one thing, that's on the outside. But how I need to face the outside, I'm telling you from my own personal experiences, right? I'm a young Sannyasa, right? I also went to school. I grew up with the senior generation in terms of being this way. So I understood. But in school, you have different combination of different children from different families coming in. If I did not have a strong spiritual value system coming from home, I did not have that foundation, I would have lost myself in school. Peer pressure, children coming.